All right, guys, this is going to be our last constructions section for our constructions unit. This is 3.5 triangle constructions. So in this section, you will learn how to construct triangles. We can construct a triangle when we know some of its measurements. That is, its sides or its angles, or some of its sides and its angles. So we may give you a specific angle or side that is given and needs to be constructed as part of the triangle, okay? So I'm going to show you how to construct these first two, and then we'll do one more after this. So this one will be a short lesson. And you're going to use basically all the constructions that you've learned and apply it to this one. And we might do some polygons as well. All right, so it says construct an isosceles triangle ABC, and it says use the given segment to be the base. So if that's our base, I'm going to give you a quick sketch. Our isosceles triangle can maybe look something like that, okay, or maybe even a much smaller one, okay, like that. Okay, so just a reminder if this is going to be our base, okay. So let me get rid of those because we actually have to construct everything. And again, you're not using your ruler, you're going to use your compass. You only use your ruler to represent a straight edge. So think about it. If we need these two sides to be the same, okay, you don't want to necessarily get the measure of the actual base. Okay, if I get the measure of the actual base, then that means all of the sides are going to be congruent, which I don't want necessarily an equilateral triangle right now. So I want it to be a little bit different, okay? So let's do a non-equilateral, even though equilateral triangles are also isosceles. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. So I'm going to just go larger than that, and then I'll show you where it's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to make an arc, like so. Then I'm going to keep that same measure because remember, I need this other side to be the same measure. And I'm going to make an arc. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So that intersection point right there is going to be your B. So now here's where we want to get our ruler and make the straight sides of the isosceles triangle. So we're going to place it on point A, line up the ruler to go perfectly to that point. And there we go. Now we're going to come over here to C. And there we go. And so this should be a perfect isosceles triangle because these two arcs are important, okay? So you need two arcs for this one, all right? Those two blue arcs. And so now we have an isosceles triangle. And again, if you have it a different size, that's still okay. So like you could have made it a lot smaller, like maybe down here. So you could have an arc there, place it over here on the C, have an arc there, and then use your ruler to connect it there as well. So to that one or to that one, okay? So then you have a smaller isosceles triangle, but it's still isosceles right here, okay? This could also be your B, all right? So there's different options, okay? You can make infinitely many different kinds of isosceles triangles given that one base. All right, let's try this one over here to the right because this one is also isosceles, except this one is equilateral. So you probably saw me what I did a second ago. So if I want to make it equilateral, you want to get the exact measure of side ST. So you make sure you get the exact measure, and then it's the same process. We're going to make an arc above, and then come over here. I think I messed up. Okay, let me try this one more time. And place it over here on T. Keep that same measure, which is the same length as ST. There's our intersection point. So now all we have to do is get our ruler and connect. That's going to be point R, looks like. See how that doesn't go perfectly through that intersection? So I need to try that again. And so you want to move your ruler over just a millimeter. Remember, even those little millimeters make a big difference, especially in the parallel lines. There we go, that looks a little bit better. So now I'm going to come over here and get the other side. And then I just have to name my point. Okay, and it's okay if you go past the line. That doesn't matter because you're going to name the point anyway. So that point right there is going to be R. So now you have equilateral triangle RST. Okay, that's it. This one also needs just 2 arcs. So both of these just need 2 arcs to make sure you have those sides being congruent. Okay, let's try one more. This time we're going to make a triangle QTY, and I have to use these specific angles and side lengths. So Q, T, and Y. Okay, so I'm going to first start off by copying that segment QT. And then those 2 angles need to be part of the triangle. So let me get my ruler and my compass. So I'm going to come right here. And I start off by making a long line. Okay, I make a long line. And then I'm going to go measure how big QT is. So place your compass on one of the endpoints and make sure you get the exact measure of QT. All right, now that I have that measure, I'm going to come over here to my long line that I started, and I'm going to make an arc. There we go. So I have QT so far. Okay, so since Q is over here in this bottom corner over here, and I know that this angle right here needs to be the measure for angle Q as part of our triangle, I'm going to copy this one next. So you're going to need to remember how to copy an angle. Okay, so let's change colors just so you can see that. So remember, copying an angle, you put an arc on the angle that you want to copy. Then you're going to come over here and do that same arc. So you're going to come do that same arc. And then I didn't label like I should have, but this right here I can call point A and that one point B. And I'm going to measure how wide it is from A to B, because that's the next important step when copying an angle. So go measure that from A to B. And then this point I don't want to label because it's going to be a part of my triangle, but this is where you want to place the compass for this particular one. All right, so now this is the size of my first angle for part of my triangle. So we're going to draw that next. So let's draw a long line, and we don't know how long it needs to be, so we're just going to draw it kind of long, okay? So the next angle is at T, okay? So the next angle is at T, so I need to copy that angle next. So I'm going to come over here to angle T because I have this bottom corner over here that I need to finish my triangle with. So let's place our compass on T, the vertex, and let's go ahead and get a different color. And let's make an arc on the angle. Okay, this is a very small angle, so I'm going to make the arc a little bit bigger over here. Okay, so make an arc on the angle. Now, since it's angle T, I'm going to come over here to my point T where my triangle is being constructed. And we're going to make that same arc at T. So not a very big arc, so I'm going to go to about right there. Okay, and then remember, label these. Okay, that one can be C and D. And again, you don't have to label them, but I think it helps you remember that that's the next big step. You have to measure how far apart C to D is. So now go with your compass, get the measure of how wide C to D is. So now I'm going to bring my compass over here, and on the green arc, I'm going to place it on that intersection point right there, and I'm going to make an arc. So it's a very small, tiny angle, and we are going to draw this last line. Okay, now you want to extend it all the way till it meets the other side. So make sure it goes perfectly through there. Make sure it's right on the intersection. Let me get my black pen. And there it is. So I have a very small triangle here, and I know you have all this extra space over here. I mean, not extra space, but these extended lines, and I know you want to erase some. I mean, you can erase these parts right there if you really want to, but just leave it extended, okay? Because those need to be out there. And I just need to label one last point because it says Q, T, and then Y. So this point right here, that point, this one is Y. And there's my triangle right there. Okay, so I constructed a triangle given those specific measures, and that's it for constructing triangles.